The Gentleman. Now, before I get into the synopsis, the plot of the movie, I just want to say that this movie has a lot of great talent behind it. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam. Even though I didn't like King Arthur, which is also directed by which this movie and King Arthur is directed by Guy Ritchie, both of them. Even though I thought that movie was incredibly boring, I do believe Charlie Hunnam, given the right material, he is a great actor. He's a really good actor given the right material and all that. Even though that movie was incredibly boring, but anyway, Henry Golding, Hugh Grant. This movie has a lot of great talent surrounding. There's a lot of great talent within this movie. So anyway, Matthew McConaughey's character. Matthew McConaughey's character has this empire. He has this marijuana empire in London. He soon decides to cash it all out. He decides to sell it all out, and that's when shit starts to get loose. There's betrayals, there's twists, there's there's betrayals and twists and all that. And so going into this movie, I know nothing about this movie. Just like I almost did with Doolittle. I'm going into this movie. I'm going to this movie blind. But that one I was almost blind. This one I feel like I'm completely blind. I know nothing about this movie. I saw the poster. I saw the Wikipedia page, and I looked to the cast, and the cast had there's a lot of great actors in this movie. So I was like, hey, I might as well check it out. I might as well check out this movie if it has so much star talent within it. So, and I saw the poster. And also, most importantly, I saw the poster of this movie. And I saw the poster of this movie, and I didn't read the synopsis. I didn't read the plot of the movie. I just saw the poster of this movie, and I just try to guess what I think the movie will be about. So I saw the font, like the font of the movie, and then all the guys, all the actors in the posters. In the poster, and I was trying to come up with my guess of what the movie could be about. And I thought this movie, I don't know why, but I thought this movie would be kind of like a spy movie, like a heist movie, kind of like Ocean's 11, which is a really good movie. But I thought it was like somewhere in that line. But no, it's complete. No, but no, the plot, it's completely different. And the plot is what I just said in the beginning of this video. It's what it's all about. So, like I said, there's a lot of great talent within this movie. And and I'm lost, and I don't know what to say. I guess I might as well get it out of the way. I might as well get the negatives, the flaws out of this way, because this isn't a great movie. This isn't a great movie, but when it comes to Guy Ritchie and all the movies I saw, which is just two movies from him, I would say that this movie is definitely much better than King Arthur. Because like I said in the beginning, that movie was just incredibly boring. I was bored out of my skull. That movie was boring and dull, but this one is much better. It's much more fun. The Gentleman, this movie is much more fun. But fun doesn't make the movie perfect or great. It just means, the definition of fun is being enjoyed. You're watching it and you're enjoying yourself. You're being entertained. You're enjoying yourself from beginning to end. And I find myself, because I went into this movie completely blind, like I said, because I went to this movie completely blind and I didn't know I know I recognize the actors, but I don't know their characters, and I don't know the description of the characters. Like, except I don't know anyone except Matthew McConaughey and who his character is. His character. The description of his character is given to us from the plot, from the synopsis. But I didn't know anyone else. Like, I don't know who Henry Golding is playing. I don't know who Charlie Hunnam is playing. I don't know what type of character Hugh Grant is playing. I don't know the characters. And because of that, I find myself completely confused and completely lost. Like, so definitely I gotta make a note to myself, but just I gotta make a note to myself to always read the synopsis before watching a movie, because there's just because if you don't because if I don't, then I'm just gonna be blind for every because from now on I'm just gonna be completely blind. So I gotta make a note to myself to read the synopsis to understand what the movie's about before watching a movie. I gotta make that note. But anyway, this is a huge lesson for me. But anyway, because of that, because I went into this movie completely blind, the plot was there was a lot of time shift or time changings. Like first we go like first like there's a lot of time shifting, time changing. Like we're going to the past, then we're going to the past, and then we're going to something that leads up to a moment. So it's stuff like that. But like I said, I don't know who anyone was playing. I don't know who anyone was playing. My other issue with this movie is, after I watched this movie, like I said, I was lost and I needed help, and I thought the best way for me to get help was if to read and to listen to what other critics reviews. I started reading a bunch of articles and reviews for this movie and what people are thinking. And it seems like everyone is talking about the racism about this movie. Now, for me, I really don't care, but yeah, definitely that's a huge issue with this movie, because the racism. This movie makes some racist jokes, and I mean, if you're the type of person, then yeah, the jokes can definitely offend you. Like, my point is, the jokes didn't offend me, but it just pushed it. It just pushed the boundary just a little further and further into just further almost across the line. It didn't cross the line to complete offensiveness, but it was pushing it, and I felt like they needed to step back. I felt like they needed to step back and dial it down for a bit. And another issue that I have with this movie, yeah, it's not a flawless movie. I mean, come on. Another issue I had with this movie was the characters. I wanted to see what each character, I wanted to see the paths of each character, like what they would end up and what they would continue on. But I guess not. And my last and final issue with this movie is fuck. It's the whole the plot. Yeah, it did really get really repetitive. The plot really did get repetitive for me. I mean, a lot of people are like gangsters are standing up and there's a lot of repetitiveness in this movie. Like there's a lot of confrontations. Uh, Gangsters, people standing up for themselves and like just standing up for themselves, and people being shot, and it's just it just gets recycled again and again. So yeah, that's it. I did think the music, the score or the music of this movie, it did really, it was on my mind. It was on my mind after I watched this movie. But yeah, like I said, this movie isn't terrible. This movie is not complete, it's not trash, it's not terrible. But it's a really fun and enjoyable Guy Ritchie movie. But like I said, but I had a couple issues, but I only had a couple issues with this movie. The racism jokes, I felt like they needed to step back because it was like littered with them, because this movie was littered with them. I just wanted them to dial it down a bit. And the repetitiveness and the confusing time-changing shifts, and the time-changing shifts and things leading up to a certain moment or to a certain scene. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. So, if you've seen the oh, and by the way, one quick thing before I end this video. The title, The Gentleman, The Gentlemen. If you look up the definition of gentleman, it does not match what this movie is, what the characters in the movie are. They're not gentlemen. They're not gentlemen. I think they need to change. I think Guy Ritchie or the studio, they need to change the title of the movie, because there's nothing gentle because there's nothing gentle about these men, unless it's irony, unless they're trying to be ironic, but I don't really see it like that. But anyway, that's it. Let me know what you thought about The Gentleman. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you in my next review.